My original name was Waxmaster C. I wanted to have a name that was not like Jam Master or Grandmaster. I had never heard of Waxmaster, so I remember the day I named myself Waxmaster C because I used to be DJ Chris, because Christopher's my name. I was DJ Chris. It didn't have a nice ring to it. I called myself Waxmaster C. When I joined Gang Starr, the owner of the label, Stu Fine, told me he did not like my name. He was like, I really don't like Waxmaster C. Can we change it to something else? And I made a list. I had probably like 5, 6, 7 names, and I showed my mother the names, and DJ Premier was one of them. I'm very creative. My mother's an art teacher, so I've always been into art and drawing and just creative stuff. When I showed her the list, she goes, I like DJ Premier. That has a nice sound to it, and you always like to be first at everything, so why don't you call it that? So I called Stu Fine back at Wild Pitch. I said, hey, what do you think of DJ Premier? He goes, I love it. And there it is. My music is just a takeoff of the original music that came before hip-hop culture. I grew up in the 70s. I was born in 1966, so there was no hip-hop, no scratching, no rapping. I come from soul music, not R&B, soul. Soul is Aretha Franklin, Minnie Riperton, Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores, Curtis Mayfield, Al Green, the Jackson 5, Diana Ross and the Supremes. Stevie Wonder, that's soul, and that's all we had. That, we had rock music, we had country music, we had jazz, we had blues, so all of that is my teachings of what music is to sound like. Hip-hop borrows from all of that music and just recreates it into a format that hits the younger generation, which was my generation of the 70s and 80s. And I'm of all of that. And so whenever I produce or DJ, I put all of that into my approach to making sure that I respect the culture of hip hop from where it began, which was playing the original records from the parties that we used to rock at, and then that turned into rappers and MCs, turning that music into their background music to, spit some dope rhymes.
Are you with me? Say hip hop. Say hip hop. If you love hip hop, put your hand up in the air like this. Alright? Now I asked you one time. Now I'm gonna ask you one more time like this.
How many real hip hoppers in the place right about now?
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
How many real hip hoppers in the place?
Come on, bounce with me, y'all. Yo, 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 yo. Shout to KRS-One.
The current hip hop scene is a lot different because most of the younger artists don't really understand the culture from the beginning of where it comes from. And if you're gonna be in a culture, you need to know the history, because just like we were tested on it when we were younger, in my Gang Starr days, they're gonna get tested on it eventually from somebody that's either from my generation or just the elements that come with being tested. You have to respect it as a culture, because if not, don't expect to last in there long. I don't care how many records you sell, how popular you are, it will eventually go down. And my popularity has stayed the same, throughout my whole career. Yeah, so I saw on Twitter and everything, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's going down. And it is going to happen. It's just he has another album to do first before mine. So, you know, we're going to start just working on a few tracks just to get the vibe going, but he still has to do it. He's obligated to do another album that he has to finish under his contract. So, you know, it may be another year or so, but we will do it.
Your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes. Cause I'm KRS and I'm on the mic and premiere on the break. Here we go! Throw your hands in the air! Everybody was like it, let's go, J-Lo! And if you're ready to rock, what can they premiere? Somebody say, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! If you don't stop, make some noise, Perry! Let's go! By now, I got your level. I never wanna climb. Yes! No, I'm not the only MC keeping it in. When I got the mic, the smash rap, girls go. Check the time, it's around, it's 1995, whenever I arrive. The party gets started, we got our flow with the master rock. As I leave behind the video.
Show was dope, man. You know, Paris always gets busy. That's how we do. Love Paris. That's the shit.